Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jeff Joins, the president of your board of directors. I represent you as a director from the Caldwell District. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the 89th annual meeting of Blue Ridge Electric Membership Corporation. Thank you for your interest in the business of your cooperative. As a courtesy, if you haven't already, please silence your cell phone. Now, will you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag? And the flag's over here to my right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Would you please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem? Diana Wilcox is going to sing today. She is an energy intelligence analyst for Blue Ridge Energy. Diana?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Diana. That was a beautiful rendition of our national anthem. Please be seated. At this time, I'd like to ask Vice President Johnny Wishon from Allegheny District to come and give our invocation. Johnny?
Thank you all. If y'all could please join me in prayer. Lord, we thank you for this day, for its many blessings. We give you special thanks that we live in a country where we can meet as we are doing here today and have a democratic process to conduct the business of our co-op. Lord, we ask that you keep our employees safe. We ask that you give us all the vision to not just provide energy to our members, but that we truly make our part of the world a better place to live. Please give us the strength and knowledge to do just that. God, please bless those here. Give us all safe travels back home. Be with us all as we go into the second half of this year and help us to make this the best year ever. We ask all of this in your precious and holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Johnny. We have a special guest with us today for the fourth year in a row. Bo Lewis is here from TEMA. Bo, stand up. There he is. Glad to have you here, sir. If you don't know, TEMA is our organization that works out of Raleigh that supplies all the materials that we need to keep the power on. Really fine folks, and you're here. And I want to thank you again for being with us today. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize the members of your board of directors. If you would please stand as I introduce you. From our Caldwell District, Kelly Melton, your secretary-treasurer, and David Eggers. Where's David? Right there. From the Watauga District, J.B. Lawrence, your assistant secretary-treasurer. Angie Miller, and our newest director, Kelvin Grider. Let them get a good look at you, Kelvin. Glad to have him on the board. From the Ash District, David Boone, Cindy Price, and James Young. And from the Allegheny District, Johnny Wishon, Mitch Franklin, and Brian Edwards. Thank you. Proud to serve with all of you. Thank you. You be seated. We are conducting the annual meeting to allow members to learn about your cooperative by joining through a live stream. You have the option to listen through our live stream on YouTube, which can be accessed also through the Blue Ridge Energy YouTube channel. This meeting will be recorded and posted on our website for future reference, hopefully as early as tomorrow. In order to participate in the motions and to ask questions live at the end of the annual meeting, you must be present today. We appreciate all of you being here with us today. It's 4:06, and as chairman of the annual meeting, I hereby call the meeting to order and declare that the business meeting is now in session. I would like to appoint Lisa Bryant, Executive Office Manager, as Secretary, and Debbie Harden, our General Counsel for the Cooperative, as the parliamentarian for the meeting. As of the close of business on June the 19th, Blue Ridge had 62,091 active members who are entitled to vote here at the annual meeting. Article 2, Section 2.04 of the bylaws states registration in person, by proxy, or by the return of ballots and proxies of at least 400 members of the cooperative shall be required for the transaction of business at any meeting of the members. As of 3:59 this afternoon, approximately 5,940 Blue Ridge members have registered either in person or by proxy. We have met the bylaw requirement for a quorum. Thank you to all the members who chose to be involved in their director election process. And especially thank you to those of you who are here today. The notice of the meeting was mailed as a part of the May edition of the Carolina Country Magazine to all members in late April 2025. It was updated as a reference and noticed in the June Carolina Country. Specific instructions were provided to members who prefer voting by ballot in person in the June Carolina Country and as posted on Blue Ridge's website. The director election kits were sent to members on May 28th, and the number of proxies returned indicate receipt of the voting information. The decision to hold this meeting using this business meeting format and live streaming format was made by your board of directors. Supplemental notice of the annual meeting and instructions for participating in this meeting process were mailed in the June edition of the Carolina Country Magazine to members in late May, as I just detailed. At this time, do I hear a motion to dispense with the reading of the notice of the meeting?
President, I make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second. For those attending today, to approve the motion, please say aye. Anyone opposed, please say no. The motion has been approved. I have before me a copy of the minutes of the June 27th, 2024 annual meeting. These minutes were also made available to you through the website and other means for your review. I would like to dispense with the reading of these minutes. I would like to have a motion requesting the board approve these minutes at their next regular meeting, which is scheduled this afternoon following the annual meeting, and to dispense with the reading of these minutes. Do I have a motion?
Mr. President, I make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Once again, for those attending today to approve the motion, please say aye. Anyone opposed? Then the motion is approved. Thank you. In the June edition of Carolina Country Mailing, you received an agenda that included the rules for the annual meeting. These rules were approved by your board of directors, and this meeting will be conducted in accordance with those rules, the bylaws of the cooperative, and Robert's Rules of Order. The first order of business is the election of your directors. At this time, I'm going to yield the chair to our General Counsel, Debbie Harden, and ask her to review the voting process for the election of directors.
Good afternoon. Each Blue Ridge member had the option to vote before the annual meeting by returning a completed proxy, either by mail or by use of the internet. Again this year, we had excellent member participation in the election of your directors, with approximately 5,940 members voting by mail or by internet through the proxy process. At this time, I would like to recognize, and I ask them to either stand or raise their hand, those directors whose terms are expiring today. Jeff Joins from the Caldwell District. J.B. Lawrence from the Watauga District. James Young from the Ash District. And Brian Edwards from the Allegheny District. Thank you, gentlemen, for your service to the cooperative. Now let's turn to the nomination process for director candidates. Director candidates at Blue Ridge may be nominated in one of two ways. The first method is by the nominating committee. The nominating committee evaluates candidates for each open director seat based upon the application received on or before the first business day in March. After review, the nominating committee may nominate one or more candidates for each open director seat. The second method for nomination is by petition. A director candidate may be nominated by petition that is signed by 20 members in good standing of Blue Ridge. That is 5 members from each of the 4 director districts. That petition must be filed on or before the first business day in April. There were no nominations by petitions received this year, and therefore the 5 candidates before you this year were all nominated by the nominating committee. The 2025 nominating committee was composed of the following members from each district. From the Caldwell District, Stephen Rauchfuss and Glenda Wright. From the Watauga District, Pam Vines and Tracy Heiss. From the Ash District, John Maloney and Jody Brown. From the Allegheny District, Susan Nilo, Tommy Maines, and Jennifer Robinson. On behalf of the membership of Blue Ridge, we thank each of the members of the nominating committee for their service. This year, the nominating committee, met on March 13th, interviewed, and then nominated a slate of 5 candidates for the 4 open board seats. The official report of these nominations was publicly posted in each of Blue Ridge Electric's offices. Now, I have the pleasure of introducing to you the 2025 director candidates, and they are, I'll ask you to stand or raise your hand when I call your name, gentlemen. From the Caldwell District, Jeff Joins. From the Watauga District, J.B. Lawrence. From the Ash District, Douglas Spell and James Young. From the Allegheny District, Brian Edwards. On behalf of the members of Blue Ridge, we thank each of these 5 candidates for standing for election this year. Now, thank you, gentlemen. Let's turn to the qualifications of director candidates. In order to be eligible to become or remain a director of the cooperative, candidates must meet the director qualifications set forth in Section 3.02 of the Blue Ridge Bylaws. The 5 candidates before you have each met those qualifications. Now, as the presiding chair over the election of directors, I declare that the polls for voting on the election of directors are hereby open at 4:15 p.m. If you are one of the approximate 5,940 members who've already voted by mail or by internet, you do not need to do anything further to vote. If, however, you are a member attending who has not voted in this year's election or wishes to change your vote that you previously submitted by proxy, you should have arrived on site today and be either in this room or waiting in the front of the corporate office building. We will escort each of you to the voting area. Would you please stand at this time if you would like to vote and have registered, and we will take you to the voting area. Please step forward, and thank you, sir. To allow sufficient time to complete the voting by ballot, the polls shall be closed at 4:30 p.m. today. The election results will be reported when tabulated and available. At this time, I'll return the chair to President Joines.
Thank you, Debbie. The next order of business will be brief reports from myself as president, then the secretary treasurer, chief financial officer, and our chief executive officer. Later in the meeting, an opportunity will be provided for member questions. My pleasure to welcome you once again to the annual meeting for your cooperative. It's an honor to deliver the president's report and to have you join us today, whether here in person at the corporate office or by tuning in on the YouTube channel. A recorded version of this will be available on our website, hopefully tomorrow. As we begin, I want to emphasize that your board, management, and employees remain united in one purpose. That's making life better for our members and communities. That mission was tested in 2024, a year marked by challenges that proved the strength and resilience of our cooperative and the people of Western North Carolina. Hurricane Helene was the most devastating storm in our history. It destroyed over 1,200 poles and much of our system, leaving over 60,000 members without power. Yet every Blue Ridge Energy employee worked around the clock for 18 days to rebuild and restore the power with the aid of sister cooperatives and contractors from across the country, literally across the country. Their response was nothing short of heroic. Helene reminded us of who we are, a cooperative defined by service, perseverance, and an unshakable commitment to our members. Together, we are truly mountain strong. Beyond the storm, we continue to face rising costs for wholesale power, materials, and contract labor. Despite this, your cooperative remains financially strong, thanks to the sound resource management and a dedicated team that's focused on keeping rates as low as possible without sacrificing reliability or service. Let's celebrate a few of last year's key achievements. Over $6 million in capital credits were returned to our members. Capital credits are one of the many unique benefits of cooperative membership, and we're pleased to provide this benefit each year. Thanks to our Blue Ridge Energy Members Foundation, which is funded by Operation Roundup and subsidiary profits, nearly 1,000 local households receive crisis heating assistance. Also through the foundation, over $200,000 in grants were awarded to local nonprofit organizations who are helping with our mission of providing a better quality of life for members. We're also investing in the future with RidgeLink, our fiber subsidiary, building critical broadband infrastructure. Through a continued partnership with Skyline SkyBest and a grant from the Watauga County Board of Commissioners, a high-speed internet is expanding to many unserved areas. As a liaison for the USDA's Rural Economic Development Loan and Grant Program, we've helped secure over $15 million in federal funding over the past 2 decades, including $540,000 last year for emergency services and fire departments across our region. These zero-interest, federally funded loans supported Robin's Nest, Sparta Allegheny Volunteer Fire Department, Ashe County Rescue Squad, and Little River Fire Department. In educational support, we celebrated 30 years of bright ideas with $30,000 in grants to 30 classrooms, plus an additional $36,000 in scholarships to 8 local students who are pursuing higher education. The success of this cooperative is fueled by a heart for service and a mission to make life better for those we serve. Few have embodied this purpose more than Doug Johnson, who recently retired after 46 excellent years of service to our members. I'd like to take a moment and thank Doug for his tireless efforts to lead this cooperative and make life better for those we serve and those who have had the pleasure of working with him. Your board spent several months reviewing and interviewing potential candidates to be Doug's successor, and I'm confident your board made the best decision for the future leader of Blue Ridge Energy. Katie Woodle is that person, and you'll hear from her shortly. We're excited to welcome her into this new role, and we can't wait for our members to hear from Katie. Finally, I want to thank the members who serve on our nominating committee, credentials and election committee, the member advisory committees, and the Community Leaders Council. And on behalf of the board, I want to share a heartfelt thank you to all the Blue Ridge Energy employees. Your dedication to keeping the lights on and supporting our members is deeply appreciated. Thank you for your time and participation in today's annual meeting. Now, our reports are going to continue with the financial report. I'd like to introduce Kelly Melton, our board secretary-treasurer. Kelly?
Thank you, President Joines, and good afternoon, everyone. It's really great to see you here. We really appreciate you taking time to join us today for the annual meeting of Blue Ridge Electric Membership Corporation and for playing an active role in the business of your cooperative. I hope you've had a chance to review the annual report included in the June edition of Carolina Country. It provides a detailed look at the cooperative's operations and financial standing. I'm proud to report that despite significant cost pressures in recent years, including the most damaging storm in our history, Blue Ridge remains in a strong financial position to serve you, our member owners, with affordable, reliable electricity. On behalf of the entire board of directors, we're pleased to have returned over $6 million in capital credits in May of 2024, and again in our most recent retirement just last month. These capital credits represent your share in the cooperative's success, reinvested to strengthen our system, and then returned to you over time. One of the unique ways that we continue to serve our members is through the Blue Ridge Energy Members Foundation. As Jeff shared earlier, the foundation is funded by Operation Roundup, as well as profits from our propane and fuels and RidgeLink subsidiary companies. The foundation provided crisis heating assistance to over 1,000 households last year. It also awarded over $200,000 in community grants to nonprofit organizations working to improve quality of life in our service area. In response to the widespread damage from Hurricane Helene, we also created the Mountain Strong Helene Fund through the Members Foundation. So far, this fund has provided assistance to 35 households, totaling more than $10,700 in relief, and the fund remains available to continue helping members recover and rebuild. The progress and impact you'll hear today is a direct reflection of our continued commitment to build a strong, responsive cooperative. These results are a testament to the outstanding leadership, strategic planning, and daily dedication of our Blue Ridge Energy team. Please join me in recognizing and celebrating the results of 2024 as we continue our tradition of service, care, and community. At this time, I am pleased to welcome our new Chief Financial Officer, Amy Crowder, to present the Cooperative's financial report.
Thank you, Kelly, for the opportunity to present the financial report for 2024. This report includes the consolidated financial results of Blue Ridge Electric Membership Corporation and the Cooperative's wholly owned subsidiaries, Blue Ridge Energies LLC and Ridgelink LLC. As has already been mentioned, we continue to work hard to make life better for you, our member owners. Planning and maintaining financial strength is a key component to our success. Recent years have been more challenging, with rising costs, not only for wholesale power, but also in the supplies we purchase to maintain the system. In addition, 2024 was a challenging year as our communities began to and are still working to recover from Hurricane Helene. Our finance team is working diligently through the financial recovery process with FEMA to seek reimbursement for the estimated $28 million in damage. Even though these challenges, your cooperative remains financially strong. We continue to work strategically and plan ahead in order to balance the future in reliability, affordability, and sustainability. At the end of 2024, the cooperative's asset base was $543 million, with member equity of $206 million, or 39% of total consolidated assets. Given the financial stability, Blue Ridge was able to return more than $6 million of the equity back to members this year during the capital credit retirement process last month. Sales in 2024 were slightly higher than 2023 at 1.1 billion kilowatt hours sold. For 2024, the total margins were at a healthy level of 11.5 million. Propane gallons sold were also favorable to the prior year as we experienced colder weather. The energy market continues to take much of our focus. As a result of rising costs, we rolled out a rate change in October of 2024. We continue to work hard to keep rates as low as possible while also ensuring the cooperative continues to meet all members' needs. Our strategy has included the positive impact that your for-profit subsidiaries play in keeping your electric bills lower. In fact, on top of the $2 million in excess cash given to the electric cooperative in both 2023 and 2024, we plan to have another $2 million given from Propane and Fuels later this year. Speaking of Propane and Fuels subsidiary, the company had a record year in 2024 for total benefit to the electric parent. At Ridgelink, the for-profit dark fiber subsidiary, we continue to see a strong benefit to the electric parent. The growth and success of these two subsidiaries is coming at a perfect time when costs are increasing for electric ratepayers. The two subsidiaries contributed a record $6 million in benefit to Blue Ridge Electric members in 2024, plus made the $2 million in excess cash contribution during the year. Over the past 2 years, we saw our meter growth exceed 1%. In 2024, results were slightly lower at roughly 0.4%. However, we attribute the slower growth to the fourth quarter as our communities were focusing on recovery from Helene. We're excited to begin to see growth in our area again and the ability to spread the increasing cost across more meters, easing the burden on individual ratepayers. In conclusion, despite many challenges, especially in rising costs and the impact of Helene on our communities, your cooperative continues its dedication to financial prudence and member-focused service. The subsidiaries continue to contribute to the overall financial health and have helped us to strategically manage costs for the membership. We remain committed to prioritizing strategic planning and operational efficiencies to ensure we provide and balance the most reliable, affordable, and sustainable service possible for all our member owners. You can find more details on the 2024 financial results in the annual report published in Carolina Country Magazine and our website. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly and Amy, for those excellent reports. At this time, We are moving right along into what I've been looking forward to. I'd like for you to welcome our new Chief Executive Officer, Katie Woodle. Katie is going to provide her report. As I shared with you earlier, here at Blue Ridge, she has been here for 13 years as the Chief Financial Officer. And now she's serving as our CEO beginning April the 1st, just a few months ago. Our cooperative will continue to achieve outstanding results through Katie's leadership. And I'm sure she's got a lot to tell you about what her plans are for the future. Here is our CEO, Katie Woodle. Katie?
Wow, thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Kelly and Amy, for those reports. And good afternoon, and thank you all, whether you're here in person or joining us live through the live stream on YouTube. Thank you for being a part of this annual membership meeting. This is a meaningful moment for me. I'm standing here for the first time as your Chief Executive Officer, and I am incredibly honored to serve you in this role, and I'm excited about the future ahead for Blue Ridge Energy. This year marks, as Jeff mentioned earlier in the program, our 89th year of serving members. And since our founding in 1936, that's nearly 9 decades of powering homes, farms, and businesses. And we've never wavered in our commitment to one another. That commitment was tested like never before in 2024. From the rapidly shifting energy policy landscape to the rising cost, and most notably, as of course you've heard in each report today, the most devastating storm in our cooperative's history. 2024 was a year that we will never forget. But I am proud to stand here and say today, we didn't just weather the storm, we emerged stronger. When Hurricane Helene struck in September, it tore through our service area and left a widespread destruction. It impacted not only the electric grid infrastructure, but the very heart of our communities, our families, our neighbors, and our friends. Immediately, our employees sprang into action. Around the clock, they worked to restore electric, propane, fuel, and fiber services, often under intense and dangerous conditions. Their commitment and courage and their skill were nothing short of heroic. But they weren't alone. Help came from every direction: mutual aid cooperatives near and far, contractors, retirees, and volunteers. And this is what the cooperative spirit is all about. In times of crisis, cooperation is not just a principle, it is a way of life. So after 18 long and hard days, we achieved full restoration. Helene left behind a lasting impact on our vegetation across our area. And we are still working very hard to identify these weakened trees from the storm and remove them before they can cause future damage on our system. We are also, as Amy mentioned, working closely with FEMA on the grant process to secure funding assistance toward the cost associated with recovery from this devastating disaster. And yet, despite all of this, I am proud to stand here and report that your cooperative remains strong. We are strong operationally, and we are strong financially. And in every area within our control, 2024 was a year of outstanding performance. Our strategic planning and preparedness made all the difference, enabling us to weather not just literal storms, but the financial and policy ones as well. So let's stop and take a look at some of the key results across all 3 of the Blue Ridge Energy companies: electric, propane and fuels, and Ridgelink. First, we like to measure ourselves in our satisfaction of our members or our consumers. We do that through an ACSI score, which is an Americans Consumer Satisfaction Index score. And in 2024, we maintained a score of over 90 for the entire year. This score ranks us in the top 5 electric utilities in the country. I am so proud of our employees for that high score. And then at propane and fuels, we also do a customer satisfaction score there, and we earned a 4.97 out of 5, demonstrating continued excellence in service for that subsidiary. Now let's talk about reliability. That was a tough year for us in 2024 with the storms that we encountered. And so the number rose on reliability, the number of minutes that we saw outages, and we use a indicator called SAIDI to measure that, and it rose to 92.9 in 2024. This is up from 69 minutes in 2023. And this was due to, as you'd imagine, the storm impacts. But we're also dealing with diseased trees in our area. So while we realize these issues won't go away overnight, we are strategically working hard to improve in this area. And of course, one of the most important, if not the most important metric, is safety. We want to make sure our employees are going home safely every evening and night. And despite the high risk conditions during the storm recovery, our safety record remained outstanding. Proof of a strong safety culture here at Blue Ridge. And then you've heard capital credits mentioned each time today in each report, but I have to say it again. We returned over $6 million to our members for the second year in a row just last month. And then the subsidiaries, a record performance at our subsidiaries. Propane and Fuels and Ridgelink subsidiaries delivered a record $6 million in after-tax net benefit to the cooperative. So important right now when costs are rising on the electric side. But these achievements, they're not just numbers. They are a reflection of our unwavering commitment to our purpose, to make life better for you, our members, our customers, and our communities. So as we look to the future, we have a vision for a brighter future. And in that vision, we focus on 3 key pillars. We want these pillars to balance affordability, reliability, and sustainability. The first pillar is member and community enrichment. You've heard a lot of things today about the details there that we're doing. We remain dedicated to community initiatives, including zero interest USDA loans for fire departments, economic development efforts, youth programs, broadband expansion, and our Members Foundation. And the second pillar, sustainability. We are on track to achieve net zero by 2050, all while ensuring affordability and reliability, that those remain the cornerstone of our energy future. And lastly, the third pillar, innovation, reliability, and cost control. In the aftermath of Helene, it will be more important than ever to look at innovation. We will continue investing in the grid modernization, smart technologies, and resilient infrastructure to continuously prepare for whatever lies ahead. We continue to advocate for a balanced, practical approach to the energy transition, sharing with elected officials the importance of protecting our members from volatility while still embracing meaningful change. Amy mentioned that last October we implemented a rate adjustment to address rising wholesale power and distribution costs. At this time, we have no plans for another rate change in the immediate future, but we remain vigilant in monitoring market conditions and cost trends. So in conclusion, I'd like to end by saying to the employees of Blue Ridge Energy, you have my deepest gratitude. This past year proved what I already knew. We have the very best people doing their very best work, no matter the challenge. You have served members with resilience, heart, and unwavering purpose. And to our members, thank you. Thank you for your trust and your partnership. Often during leadership transitions, people wonder, what will change? As I've said many times throughout this transition, while the shoes may have changed, our purpose and values remain the same. We are rooted in hard work, service, and timeless vision of making life better. And I couldn't be more proud to carry that torch forward. Thank you for allowing me to serve you, and here's to an even brighter, stronger future together. Thank you.
Now you know why our board is so confident about the future of Blue Ridge. We have an excellent leader at the helm. Thank you so much, Katie, for those remarks. I'm sad to tell you that Debbie is not back in the room. Our attorney is working diligently with survey and ballot systems to try to get things finalized, but they are not ready. And because of that, we're going to take a recess. Just be at your leisure until you see Debbie head toward the room, and then we'll take back up. I apologize for all the delay, but sometimes it just can't be helped. And we're going to take a recess right now in the annual meeting until 4:50, and then we'll see where we are. Thank you. I would like to yield the chair once again to ask our outside general counsel, Debbie Harden, to make a few comments concerning this year's director election process. And here's Debbie.
Thank you. Thank you, President Joins. I'm short, sorry. Each year, your board of directors appoints a member committee to oversee the cooperative's director election process. That includes certification of the election results today. The member committee reviewed the selection process and approved the recommended independent election administrator, that is Survey and Ballot Systems out of Minnesota. They reviewed and approved the proxy and ballot forms that you as members used in this year's election, and they are responsible today for certifying the results of the election. The appointment of this committee, the Credentials and Elections Committee, is for a one-year term beginning in December. This committee was appointed December 2024. At this time, I have the pleasure of recognizing the members of the 2025 Credentials and Elections Committee. I'm going to ask each of them to stand as I call their name. Kimberly Cobb, your chairperson, and Ron Vance, both from the Caldwell District. Jimmy Friley from the Watauga District. Andy Sexton and Pam Barker from the Ash District. And Charles Rudy from the Allegheny District. Thank you for your service. I've enjoyed working with you. As I said, this committee today has been working on site, overseeing your election. And on behalf of all members, we thank you for your diligence and your work on behalf of Blue Ridge. At this time, I have the pleasure of introducing Kimberly Cobb, the 2025 chair of the Blue Ridge Electric Credentials and Elections Committee. Ms. Cobb will share the results of the 2025 director election. Ms. Cobb?
Good afternoon. The Credentials and Election Committee has received and reviewed the voting data reports of our independent third-party election administrator survey and ballot systems. After review, the committee consisting of Ron Vance, Jimmy Freely, Andy Sexton, Pam Barker, Charles Rudy, and myself has certified that the bylaws quorum requirement has been met. Furthermore, the Credentials and Elections Committee certified the election results for each district as follows. Caldwell District, the C&E Committee declares Jeff Joins the newly elected director to the Board of Blue Ridge Electric Membership Corporation. Watauga District, the C&E Committee declares J.B. Lawrence the newly elected director to the Board of Blue Ridge Electric Membership Corporation. Ash District, the C&E Committee declares Douglas Spell the newly elected director to the Board of Blue Ridge Electric Membership Corporation. Allegheny District, the C&E Committee declares Brian Edwards the newly elected director to the Board of Blue Ridge Electric Membership Corporation. Congratulations to all the 2025 elected directors, and a special thank you to all who participated in the director elections for Blue Ridge Electric Membership Corporation. This concludes the report of the Credentials and Election Committee.
The newly elected directors, Joins, Lawrence, Spell, and Edwards, will be installed later this evening at the June 2025 regular board meeting of the cooperative. At this time, I'll return the chair to President Joins.
Thank you, Kim. Mr. Chair, thank you, Debbie, as well. Congratulations to my fellow directors. I look forward to serving with you as we move forward. James, thank you for your service to this cooperative, and we wish you well for the future. Doug, congratulations to you. Look forward to having you sworn in shortly. We've now come to the part of the business meeting where members have the opportunity to ask questions. Your board of directors takes a great value in this opportunity to hear from the members, and we have reserved a portion of this annual meeting to be able to hear from you. Please raise your hand if you would like to ask a question or make a comment, and we'll have someone bring a microphone over there to have to give you the opportunity to ask the question. I'll pause for just a moment to see if we have anyone who would like to ask a question or to make a comment. I see that we do not have any members wishing to ask questions today. I would like to remind our members who may be watching by the YouTube that if they wish to ask questions, please call your local office and your questions can be routed to the appropriate staff person. It is 4:50, and I declare the annual meeting adjourned. Thank you for being here. Thank you for that and for having a good day.